Welcome into Patriots Today. I'm Harrison Graham with today's video, and I thought we'd do a little bit of a different video today as NBC Sports Patriots insider Tom Curran ranked the top 25 Patriots of all time. We'll get to his list and do a little bit of reaction in just a minute, but first, let's leave it up to you. Besides Tom Brady, who is the best Patriot under Bill Belichick? So in the last, 20-some-odd years, who's been the best player to come through the New England Patriots program? Let us know in the comments, best Patriot under Bill Belichick. All right, we'll go from 25 down to 1, and at number 25, Ty Warren, the defensive tackle. And then, actually, Mr. Curran, who admitted his wrong here, left out a player. So at number 24, he just wrote in the text, holiday interlude. Not my list, his list. Number 23, Antoine Smith. The running back, 22, Dan Coppin. And at number 21, Rob Ninkovich. I think one of the more underappreciated Patriots linebackers over the past 10 or 15 years. Number 20, Julian Edelman. Obviously a playoff machine. We'll see if he gets into the Hall of Fame. He's been one of the best postseason performers of all time. Hope he enjoys retirement. Stephen Gostkowski, one of the best kickers in NFL history. One of the most accurate ones as well. Roman Pfeiffer comes in at number 18. Deion Branch at number 17, balled out with the Patriots, got the bag with Seattle, was never the same. Number 16, Randy Moss. I'd have him higher, but he didn't spend a ton of time with New England, so I certainly understand why he's a little bit lower at number 16. Who's the best Patriots receiver out of these three? Type E for Julian Edelman, type B for Deion Branch, type M for Randy Moss. It's got to be Moss, right? Like, what are we doing here? Randy Moss is clearly the best receiver, not just of all time out of these three, but with the Patriots as well. I mean, did you watch the 2007 season? I'm typing my M for Randy Moss. Now, obviously, Julian Edelman, more longevity, more playoff success. I get that. Fan favorite. The question we all want to know is if he's done enough to get into the Hall of Fame. 36 touchdowns, 3 Super Bowl victories, all that good stuff. Was very, very good in the playoffs. But Deion Branch is a guy that people forget about, too. Those early Super Bowl teams, he was a huge factor. Had over 4,200 yards with the Patriots, a pair of Super Bowl wins, was critical in both of those games as well. Again, didn't last as long as New England and wasn't great once he left the Patriots, but it's a Patriot-centric list. So just view his time with New England as the time that counts. But Randy Moss, while he wasn't in New England for super long, the numbers he put up were ridiculous. I get the team success. They didn't win a Super Bowl, but my goodness. For a couple of years there in New England, he was the best player in the sport, if you ask me. 50 touchdowns in just 52 games. That is absurd efficiency there. Almost 4,000 yards on 259 catches as well. Depends what you count. Obviously, didn't win a Super Bowl, but he's a receiver. It's not completely up to him on who wins the Super Bowl. So that rounds out 20 through 16 there, 3 receivers in that chunk of players. 15 through 11, Kevin Falk, the running back, a fan favorite as well. Did a lot of great things with New England. Wes Welker at 13, another receiver on this list. And, of course, Rodney Harrison, one of the best safeties of all time, just outside the top 10 at number 11. Willie McGinnis, another notable player there as well, at number 12. Kevin Falk, kind of the do-it-all back for the Patriots. Good runner, good receiver, was a solid player. You think back to some of those epic games with the Indianapolis Colts between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Kevin Falk was right in the thick of those in kind of the mid-late 2000s there. Great player for New England. Let's get into the top 10 here. Adam Vinatieri. Hey, he actually played with the Colts longer than the Pats, but what he did in New England, the snow game-winning kicks, big kicks throughout his career, especially in the playoffs, fantastic as well. And most points in Pats history, as we'll get back to that top 10 list in a second. Gostkowski, Vinatieri, obviously topped the list there. Gronkowski getting there in the top 5 as well. And I think this is an interesting question that my producer is putting up on screen right now. Better kicker for the Patriots, not overall career, but just their time with the Patriots. Would you take G for Stephen Gostkowski, or would you type V for Adam Vinatieri? I still think I'm going Vinatieri, but Gostkowski had a very, very good career as well. Obviously, Rob Gronkowski, he's got to be in the top 10. He's obviously with the Buccaneers now, but he was fantastic. Richard Seymour, great defensive tackle, was part of some of those Super Bowl teams. Ty Law, the cornerback, was great in the early 2000s. Mike Vrabel, who was a great glue guy as a linebacker, has become a great head coach, as a matter of fact, as well. Then you get into the top 5. Matt Light, left tackle, one of the all-time Patriots. Troy round wide receiver. A lot of receivers on this list, which kind of begs the question, why can't the Patriots figure out wide receiver now? They've had a lot throughout their history. Teddy Bruschi, he's kind of Mr. Patriot after Tom Brady, if you will, with what he was able to do coming back from cancer to play and all that stuff. A true warrior for the Patriots. Vince Wilfork, number 2, and then, of course, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady at number 1 on Tom Curran's top 25 Patriots list. The numbers speak for themselves. The greatest quarterback in NFL history. Obviously, it was tough to see him go to the Bucs, but hey, you got 20 years of him in New England, 6 Super Bowls, 11,000 passing yards in the playoffs alone, 73 touchdowns as well. The greatest playoff performer of all time, and I think just overall the greatest quarterback that we've ever seen in the NFL. So before we sign off, who is too high and who is too low on this list? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Hey, as long as TB12 is number 1, who really cares at the end of the day?